Finally. You look fit.
Oh, stop it. So do you. Thank you.
Oh, you look so hot. Where are you going?
Thank you. Well, I've got a dinner tonight, and I thought because we're going live, I was like, I'll just get ready early.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing it for us. Love that. So tell us how you're in the UK and stuff at the moment.
Say that again.
How come you're in the UK at the moment?
Am I? Yeah, I'm in Manchester at the moment.
What are you doing here?
So I don't know if you know, but I've got an online business, personal training business. So I do that. And then I also do personal training in Manchester as well, like one-to-one.
Oh, you living here now?
Yeah, living in Manchester.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So just saying sound though. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, they were talking about the sound. Do you know what it is? It's because I had it balanced, had my phone balanced against something, innit?
I was going to say, I was like struggling to hear you.
Okay, is that better now though?
So much better. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So I was just saying, like, I wanted to ask you, like, stuff about the general experience of being on the show.
Yeah, cool.
So, you know, like the casting procedure, I guess you didn't have to audition. Did they just invite you to come and join?
Yeah, so basically, Too Hot to Handle came out, I think it was last January. And meanwhile that was coming out, we were like in talks with Netflix, and they were like, we've got this other show that we're doing, it's called Perfect. They literally told us the name. They were like, it's called Perfect Match, we'd love you to be a part of it, we've selected like a few Netflix people to join. And I was like umming and ahhing about it, because I was like, well, my Too Hot to Handle's just come out, they were saying we were going away like this time last year, and I was like, I want to maximize like the Too Hot to Handle experience. Like, do I want to leave for like 7 weeks and not be on my phone? So that was like a bit of a hoo-ha, because I was like, is it the best thing for me? And they were like, it's an amazing opportunity. Like, we've never done this before. And I was like, okay, you convinced me. I'm going.
Yeah.
And then, because obviously I didn't know how many people were going. I didn't know who was invited. Like, they have like these mad contracts where you can't speak to anyone. And if you think like we're all so close as well, so no one could. You had no idea who was going on, like, but yeah, so that's basically how. So they just contacted me basically and were like, you're coming with us.
So did you know, like, about the concept of the show? Because I know when new people were going into the house, like, on a date, the people who they were matching with, like, on the date were explaining to them how it was working.
Yeah, so what they told us was basically like, it's Perfect Match, and we had to do this massive questionnaire, right? And it was like, I think it took me like 2 hours. I'm not even joking. And it was this massive thing where, like, if you refresh the page, the whole questionnaire would go. So it took me like bloody ages. And it was questions about you. It was like what's your ideal partner? Like religious things, like so much. And I was like, God, this is actually intense. Like, I was like, I'm about to find my perfect match. Like, this is it. Like, love is blind kind of shit. So they asked us these questions when we were away, and then I thought it was do you know Are You the One?
Yeah, the one, the animal heads.
No, the one you know, the one that's like there's a load of contestants, and then they have to try and find their match, and if they find their match they win like £1,000,000.
Oh, okay, no, I don't know that one, sorry.
Yeah, so basically they have to do that. So I
Okay.
thought it was a You the One, and I was like, oh my God, I've been set up, I'm on a You the One, blah blah blah. And then, but they never really told us obviously all this stuff about you'd be going in and out of the villa and like all that. Like, I had no idea. So when all of us got in, like, we were clueless to it.
Right, okay, so you didn't know about you had to share a bed with your match.
The share a bed with your match, right? Okay, so this is my opinion on that. Okay, so I've heard some speculation, and from my point of view, I was kind of like, I get it that people were annoyed that like they didn't tell us that you'd be sharing a bed or anything. But if you think that you're going on a dating show, right? You think of like Love Island, you think of Too Hot to Handle. Like, when you're on a dating show, that always happens, and there's like never any question about it. So in my head, I kind of assume that anyway. And I know, like, to some people that's crazy and they don't want to do it, and that's fair enough. But you never ever get that question when you go on Too Hot to Handle or Love Island. Like, it's I know it's bad that they didn't say anything, but also when you're going on a dating show, that's normally what happens, you know?
Yeah, it's like part and parcel of the deal, yeah.
Like, you know, you don't see a dating show and they're just like in single beds, you know? Where do you think you're going to stay?
Literally, yeah. Or even like they don't even separate the girls and the boys unless it's like the first episode of Love is Blind.
Literally, exactly.
Yeah. So with like um when you say like when you leave the house, before you came back in, where did you go?
So, okay, this is crazy. So we were staying in this hotel. It was unreal, right? It was an unreal hotel, but this is bad. But so we were allowed half an hour in the gym and half an hour in the pool, right, every day. Okay, you think that some people didn't go in till like 6 weeks in. Your mental health is going, especially me, like I like being surrounded by people. You weren't allowed to see anyone. Like they called them wranglers, which are like the people that come deliver you food or they take you to the gym and they like watch over you because they didn't want any of us to see each other.
Yeah,
Of
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
course, but like it was a bit dramatic because like we literally were allowed half an hour for each thing, and like you were just stuck in a room with like one big window. The window didn't even open. So like by the time people got in the house, everyone was like kind of stir crazy. I don't know whether it was like Netflix was trying to like it was a psychology thing. Some of us think it was like they were trying to get these massive personalities in a room, don't speak to anyone for like a couple of weeks, and then bam, you're in this house. Makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah,
yeah.
I went crazy.
Because normally I think it would be like an hour in the gym, but I guess because there was so many of you, they had to shorten it to like
Yeah,
half an hour.
it wasn't like they just wanted to trap us. I think it was just because there was so many of us. Like there was like 23 of us or something. I don't know if more than that. So they had to time us to go to the gym, and it was a bit crazy, to be honest. Like nothing like too hot to handle.
Did you have a TV? No.
Oh my god, you know what? I had a TV, right, and it was when Russia and Ukraine had just first started,
Oh my
and
God.
all I had on this TV was CNN. So, so I was like going mad. I was like, the world's ending. This is it. Like I'm stuck in this room.
That definitely sounds like a torture tactic on behalf of Netflix.
100%. 100%. I was just sat there in my room all day watching CNN. Like that's me. That's my life right now.
Yeah, sure. Was there, so like when you were watching it back, was there anything where you thought, like, did they cut anything where you were kind of like, oh, I'm surprised they cut that?
What? In terms of my kind of time in there, I think they showed it pretty well. I don't think they showed me and Bartisa's connection as much as they did because it was kind of like, oh, they met the first night, that was mad, by the way. When I matched with him that night, that was a bit crazy of me, and that was crazy. But then like we actually got to know each other really well, but they didn't show those conversations because I didn't actually know Love Is Blind. Like his show hadn't come out,
Yeah,
so
sure.
we had so many chats about like his experience, which when he explained his experience, it was a lot different to what I saw on TV. Obviously.
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen that. So we spoke all about that, about our life, and like I had no preconceptions of him. So I was just there getting to know him as how he showed himself to me. And he was, from what I saw, he was lovely and we had a great connection. So yeah, I'm surprised about that because it did. I see it look kind of bad because they were like, so they don't even know each other. Like, why are they doing that? Um, so yeah, that's the main thing. And then I think the thing that shocked me the most, right, was I hadn't been in the villa for episode 1 and 2. And you know the like beef between Francesca and Savannah.
Yeah, sure.
I had no idea how. Like I watched it, right, and my mouth dropped. I went, no one told me that it was that beefy. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So with like the Barties thing, I was going to ask you when you came out and then you watched Love Is Blind, were you just like, what a dick?
Do you know?
What a
Do you know
dick.
what? Do you know what? I was so shocked. So I actually didn't watch it until like properly didn't watch it. I'd seen clips until like the week before Perfect Match came out. But I'd seen all the comments. I was like, what is going on? Like I said to my girls, I was like, this is crazy. Like this isn't the like guy that I knew like from the show. And I'd like spoke to him about it. And obviously when I did see Love Is Blind, I could see like why people reacted like that. But then I know in my head, I'm not like backing him at all, but I know in my head like what TV can be like. So in my head, I was just kind of like checking up on him, like, are you okay? Like, this is crazy. I didn't realize it was going to be like this. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked to see it because he told me a completely different story.
So when you guys came out, tell us like what happened after you came out. Obviously, it sounds like you guys are still like cordial and in contact, but we know that you're not together anymore.
Yeah, so obviously I said like before, you didn't see our connection on the show, and then we left, and I remember we had like this massive night out, and it's a bit mad because I feel like out of all the couples, except for Joey and Carousel, me and Bartice were probably the closest out of everyone. Like when we came out, like although everyone's saying like the show isn't real and stuff like that, like me and him spent the whole night together. Like we were together the whole time. Like there was other couples arguing, weren't speaking, not during Carousel, but the others. And I was thinking, how did these people come before us? Because we're like actually like being real. And then what happened was, I don't know if you saw on the date, we were kind of
So
saying like,
you're talking about Chloe and Shane? No? Dom and
both.
oh, okay, fine.
I think the other thing, like I'll go into it in a minute, but the Shane and Chloe thing, like I think someone had said, like after filming, it completely went like to shit with them. And both of their well, it's kind of Shane, kind of Chloe, like they just as soon as you're in a different environment, right, when you're filming, and then you get out and you're so overwhelmed with everything that's happened, and then you're like, oh, this is real. Whereas I feel like with me and Baptiste, there was literally no pressure because we'd been on there like we're not each other's perfect match, we're just going to go get to know each other, so there was no pressure. Whereas all these other couples have been like, yeah, like we're the perfect match, we're going to be together forever, we're engaged, blah 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 blah. So then they came out of the filming and they were like, oh god,
Yeah, this is a very different environment. Yeah.
And you get to know people's personalities off camera, you know.
Yeah, sure. Was there anybody who you think was definitely different off camera compared to what they were showing on TV?
Oh, it's difficult. It's a difficult one because everyone there, you can see everyone's personalities, right, and it is true to them. But you got to think about it like, if you've got cameras around you all the time and no matter how many people say like, oh yeah, we're just so normal in there, we're just living our life, I'm like, it's not a normal environment. It's not like you've got cameras, you've got big cameras in your face all the time, and like people always think in the back of their head like, you know, what I say right now is getting filmed, unless we've had a few drinks and we just don't care, which is most of the time.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I wouldn't say someone specifically, but I definitely think there was definitely a change when we came out of the villa to in there.
So when you were watching back the conversation between Bartice and Abby, when you were watching that back, did you view that differently? Because I know at the time it felt like in the finale, at least, you thought that she was upset because he hadn't matched with her. But when you watched it back, were you like, oh, okay, that was not the case?
Then like I actually messaged her when it came out, and I was like, I'm so sorry for reacting how I did. Like me and Abby since the show have always been close, and like she never actually explained the situation. Like when we finished filming, no one ever kind of spoke about what happened in filming, and me and her were just like, I remember after the show I was like, we're okay, aren't we? And we were like, yeah, let's just have fun, like whatever. And then the other day I messaged her like, I'm so sorry, like I obviously didn't see anything that happened when they were together. In my head, I saw it as he'd done exactly the same to her as he'd done to me, and like everyone was mixing and matching anyway. So because when I was in there, people were jumping from couple to couple to couple, and then I got to the end and I came in and I thought it was kind of the same thing, but obviously it wasn't. And Abby had like obviously that chat with Bartice, and it was all a bit, I don't agree with any of it, but I hadn't seen that. So and I know it looked so bad. Like I watched it back and I was like, literally like, Izzy, shut up when I was watching it.
The way she was literally like on the verge of like pure emotion, and then you just waltzed over and was like, yeah, can I have a chat?
Oh my god. I'm sorry, but they cut that so well, because I have a feeling that it wasn't that end of the chat, but it was good TV, but you know, when you're just, I mean, you don't know, but when I'm watching myself on TV, I just cringed the whole time. Like I had to skip some of it because I was just cringing. But it did look so bad, and I just rock over like with my drunk eyes, like, not to interrupt, like, shut up.
Oh no, I love it. I love it. Do you think so? Talking of like you said, you're quite close with Abby outside of the show.
Yeah.
I had seen, I think, I can't remember, it was one of the boys who was like, oh, look, it looks like there's all of this drama, but like outside of it, we're really just like this one big family. Yeah. Who's,
I
who's,
mean, I'd love to say
who's, who's brothers and sisters and who's like an extended third cousin?
okay, so we've got like, you've got the thing is, the two talented people, we were all so close at the beginning of it, at the beginning of filming, we all had our back, and then all the stuff happened in it. So obviously, I'm gonna shout my girl Georgia out. She's literally my best friend. So like, obviously me and G, and then it is so weird because you've got people like friends with different people, even if they're not friends, if that makes sense. So for example, like I'm close, well, Georgia's close with Chloe and me, but not Ines, for example, but Chloe's really close with Ines. So it is like
Yeah,
a
sure.
bit weird dynamic. But I'd say you've obviously seen the drama with like Francesca and Georgia, Savannah. Like, you know, the main people like Francesca and Savannah obviously don't get on. I think when Francesca did a lot of her interviews, she made clear that she didn't like a lot of people, which I think some people didn't actually realise until they'd
Okay.
seen the interview. Shocked a lot of people. They were like, okay.
Like, oh, sorry, babe. I thought we were cool, but
Yeah,
no, I
what
guess
we
not.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously you've got Dom and Georgia with all that situation going on now, which is, it's hard for me to see because I was so close with Dom as well.
Mm.
At the end of the day, Georgia's my best friend, and I know a lot of what happened in that situation, and a lot isn't shown. Like people are like posting receipts and stuff like that, but no one can actually say they lived that experience, you know?
Okay, so let's talk about that then. About the obviously, Francesca said that 2 days or 1 week, I can't remember if it was 1 week or 2 days after filming, that then that's when Georgia went on to Harry Josie's podcast and then she just broke up with Dom.
Firstly, that's a complete lie because Georgia went straight back to London. We both went back to the UK after filming, and we were there for like at least a week or something. And then she flew out to LA. She was like, "Oh, Izzy, I'm going to LA. I'm going to see Dom out there. We're going to go to Disneyland." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so exciting!" But at that time, she'd told me because after filming, Dom not acted different, but obviously, like I said, people are different outside of the thing, and she was having concerns anyway, but she was like, I need to see him, like we had such a great connection, I don't want to ruin it, like I want to see him. So she went out there, and I was like, just be you, see how you guys get on. If you don't go on, it's fine. Like, you don't, just because you're on a show, you can't pressurize yourself to be with someone, right? And then she went out there, saw Dom, went to Disneyland, had a great time, and she called me like, we're having a great time, but I'm just not sure if we're like meant for each other. And like you've probably seen on other shows, Georgia doesn't like pressure from someone. And on
Mm.
the show, he didn't give her any pressure to like be with her or whatever. And outside, she kind of felt like it was going really quickly, and she was scared. She hadn't been back to Australia since before Tuat Handle came out. Like, she was under a lot of pressure. Everyone can vouch me from after the show. Everyone went a bit crazy because it's such a mad experience that we went through. And then she told me she was going on Harry's podcast, and I was like, yeah, have a good time, blah blah blah. She came back and was like, we got on, we had a great time, but that was it. Like, we just got on really well because we're from the same like we're obviously from the same similar
Yeah,
areas. He
sure.
feels like home. It's great to chat with him. And then I don't know if you saw the whole thing about Ines. That she'd always been funny about Ines just because Ines had obviously said to Dom that she was in love with him, which is like, if you're with someone and he's going to meet someone that is in love with him, you're going to be a bit funny about it, you know?
Yeah, did she say that? Did Inez say that? I don't remember her saying she was in love with him.
Yeah, she said she was. I don't know if they showed it, but she said she was in love with him. And now they've come out and said it's like just friends, which is fair enough. But at the time, she assumed that Ines wanted to be with Dom, and Dom was going to see Ines. So she raised that concern with me and was like, you know, is it weird? And I was like, I mean, if you don't feel comfortable with it, then it's like, it is a bit weird.
Mm.
Like, he should kind of respect that. And then anyway, that passed, and she'd said to me, look, like, I spent time with him. I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna I think I'm going to just say, like, we should leave things here. And I was like, and she was, bless her heart, she was literally crying to me on the phone, like, I feel so bad. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, blah, blah, blah. Like, she is, you know, you can see she's a sweet person. She's, like, even more sweet in real life. It's not, it's, everyone's saying it's fake. It's not. And then she sat down in the bed with him and everyone's saying, oh, she ended it through a podcast. She didn't. They were together. She sat him down and explained her situation and said, you know, and they were fine. They left it like that, and that was it. And then this podcast came out that Harry and Georgia fell in love, like, on the first podcast, right? And Dom had never said that he'd seen that, and that was put out by, I think, Harry's publicist. I don't know, but anyway, so apparently there was a massive issue because Dom had seen that, but Georgia had actually broken up with him before that, and that whole thing wasn't true. Okay. It was just put out there. So yeah, that's my side of it. I probably shouldn't, it's not my thing to speak on, but I see all this stuff going on and people talking about her, and it just, like, winds me up.
Yeah, sure. So did Francesca still have beef with Georgia then? Because Francesca was the one that said that.
I don't think they're best of friends. I'm not going to lie. Like, obviously Georgia's with her ex, and then they didn't. Obviously, that whole Dom situation happened on the show, so I wouldn't say they're best friends.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, well, I want to ask you some, like, general questions about the finale and stuff as well. But just before we moved on, I asked you already, but I can't remember if you answered or not. You and Bartiz, do you still speak?
Yes. Yeah, we do.
Okay, when did you guys decide to just call it a day?
So after filming, we, like, spoke on the phone a few times, and, like, it was fine, and we were like, basically the whole cast had decided to, like, meet up afterwards, which never happened. And I was like, oh, I'll see you then, we'll go to London and things like that, but it kind of just never happened, and we both got on with our lives, and it kind of just fizzled out, because at the end of the day, like, we didn't know each other that well. Like, some of the other couples were in there the whole time, and, you know.
Yeah. So how was, like, the sex? Because us here, the community on TikTok, we heard some things.
Wait, you're gonna have to go on. You're gonna have to clarify with that.
No, one girl said that did you see the whole TikTok drama about how he, like, took her on this party bus and then left her in another city?
I haven't actually seen that. No.
Yeah, so basically some girl, I feel like he had said to her, oh, come on this party bus or whatever. She came on the party bus and then turned up, and, like, big shock, there was a ton of other girls on the bus. I don't know what she was expecting, but sure. So then she goes with him on this party bus to, like, another city, and then I think he just, like, left her in the other city.
Is this party?
Yeah.
Right, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and then she said that she was basically, like, saying that because, you know, on the show he had such a strong reaction to Nancy saying about the abortion thing. She was like, oh, it's so funny that, you know, he wants to talk about abortion, but then he doesn't like to use condoms. So this was the side that we heard. She also, I think she said he was, like, rubbish at foreplay or something. I don't know if I just made that up, but...
So, not that I want to speak about my sex life, but me and him actually didn't sleep together. So...
Oh, good for you.
I know. So people will be shocked about that, but no, we didn't. And I have no idea what he's like in bed, but...
Well... I feel like that's a good move on your part.
Yeah, and I'd be honest with it. If I had, I'd be honest with it. I don't mind about stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, and that's horrible. If that did happen, like, that is horrible for her. And I don't agree with, like, a lot of the stuff Bartiz has said, but he's come out and apologized and said that he's changed his mindset, and, like, the guy that I knew is a lot different to the guy that everyone thinks he is. So
totally, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, when I was watching it, I was, like, the biggest Bartiz critique of Love is Blind. But when I was watching Perfect Match, I thought, actually, he doesn't seem that bad. It was only then with the situation with Abby, I was a bit like, okay, hello, true colours.
100%. And like I said before, like, I hadn't seen him and Abby together. And I don't think he played it well. Like I've said that to him, he didn't play it well at all, and I was a kind of part of that. And I know like a lot of people have commented like, you know, like you shouldn't have gone back to him. Like, have you seen Love Is Blind? No, I haven't seen Love Is Blind. And yes, I've apologized to Abby for that situation. But like when you're in that environment, it goes such a fast pace, and you don't always have time to think about what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. No, I get it. And also, it's like a pressure cooker, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
the whole environment.
exactly.
If you say, for example, if you had been in at the start, who would you have wanted to match with?
Probably, probably Zay.
Yes, that's what I said.
Like we get on so well, and like we both said, we both said after filming, we were like, because yeah, we were both like, imagine if we were there like together and hit it off, and yeah. But
Okay, so you and Zay are chatting in the DMs then.
yeah, so I saw him when I went to LA, and we get on really well. But it's just, I think when I saw him, it's one of those things where the whole thing with Perfect Match was coming out. It was so intense. I wasn't in LA that long, but I did see him, and we just chat. We're really good friends at the moment, but yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Perfect Match season two.
I'm coming. Actually, can I put myself through that? Really?
I don't know. Who would you like to see on the second season? I would like to see Harry Josie in there. Just
Oh,
he would,
100%.
yeah.
I'm kind of sad that he wasn't on this one, to be honest, because that would have been crazy. So yeah, Harry. I think. Do you know Bo from my season of Tilt to Handle?
Yes, yep.
Love her so much. She would be amazing on there because I
Yeah,
feel like she got cut out of Tilt to Handle quite a lot. You didn't see her like. You saw her like cute and bubbly side, but she's like feisty in a good way, like and funny. So I feel like you'd see that side of her, and she just doesn't take any shit, like literally nothing. So like that would be good. Who else? To handle Nicole. She's lovely. She'd be good on it as well.
Okay, I'm not sure if I know her, Nicole.
She was on season 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
I only watched half of that.
Obi, my boy Obi.
Yeah.
Love him. He deserves love, bless him.
Yeah, there's a few people I would like to see on it. Also, I feel like they're doing, because they brought in people from Selling Tampa. I would love to see like Emma with her empanadas from Selling
Oh,
Sunset.
oh my god, they need to get Selling Sunset on there right now.
I just feel like they would never do it.
Do you not think? What, as in the girls would never do it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously half of Selling Sunset are already in couples anyway, but I feel like Emma would definitely, I think, see it as like beneath her. But maybe Davina.
Oh, let's get Davina on there. I love her as well.
Davina with her £78 million house.
Yeah. She's like, babe, I'm not doing that. She would not. None of them would come on, but
Okay, so I just have like a few more questions with you, and then I actually have like a couple little really quick games for us to play, just because I'm fun like that. So who do you think who do you think had the biggest game plan?
oh my god, this is hard. Okay, she would probably admit it herself, but probably Francesca.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, and with regards to like the final and stuff like that, do you think Joey's proposal was genuine?
Yeah, I do. And I think people are going to come for me for that. But honestly, like when I was in there so I was in there for a short time at the start and at the end. From what I saw, like they just bounced off each other. They like couldn't keep their hands off each other. I just don't know how you can fake that. I don't know unless he's like the biggest actor in the world, right? I couldn't. If I didn't like someone, I couldn't fake it. So that if it was fake, that's crazy to me because they just were. Anyone will say it like they were inseparable.
Yeah. So like, were you shocked that they didn't win?
No, because they'd been through like all these. Like I know a lot of the cast didn't think their relationship was real, but I think that's a bit of jealousy because they were just smashing it and they were there the whole way, and everyone was like, then everyone was saying everyone's relationship was fake, and I was like, would you be saying that if you were there though?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And the only reason they didn't win was just because of all the arguments they had, I think, and people were jealous. That's my opinion on it.
So did you vote? Can I ask you who you voted for? You're allowed to tell me who you voted for.
Yeah, I voted for Georgia and Dom.
Okay, yeah, I thought you might have done because obviously she's your girl. Did she vote for you?
Me and Bartiz weren't in the voting line, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Ed
Oh,
said we weren't a perfect match.
you decided that beforehand. Yes, got you. So just one more thing I wanted to ask you about. I've seen comments a little bit on this live, but also on other videos too, about how they match like contestants of color, how they put together like they generally put like the black girl with the black boy. Um, Obviously, they brought you in on with Nick,
Yeah.
didn't they? Right. So that wasn't necessarily the case when you first came in, but have you kind of noticed that? Because it is something even I've picked up on like Love Island and things like that. That's generally if it comes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was going to say that as well. I think I even said on the Love Island that I'm watching now, it always ends up with like, you know,
I'm still here.
it's such a hard thing to comment on because I would never want to come out and say like they're doing it on purpose or anything like that. I think that's how it's sorry it's really hard to speak about because it's like quite personal, I think. And I think that when I went in there, I had a different experience because I was like with Nick and Shane, who are obviously white, and then I picked Bartiz. So like I didn't really have that. And I know Bartiz didn't pick me, but I would never say. Some people may say it is. I don't think it's because I was mixed race. I don't think it is because that. If people think that, then that's their thing. I think it's sad that like Anne Sophie, Savannah, and Colony weren't in there for a long time, and I completely get why people think that. And I think there is an issue with you know, having more kind of people of ethnicity on the show. Like I think maybe they should have had more to give people more of that opportunity. But yeah, that's kind of all I can say on it really. But things need to be improved at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's clear that it does. I don't know how, but yeah, I agree with a lot of the comments on it.
Yeah, because generally I think, especially if it's given down to, say, for example, not the producers, but the responsibility of matching the couples goes to the other contestants.
Mm.
I think sometimes the line of thought can be like, oh, they look good together. And people are saying, like, oh, like the two contestants of colour look good together because they just think visually it makes more sense, which obviously is not the case.
Yeah, and for me, it's like it's not my choice to make. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know what they're thinking and how they're acting and what they
Mm.
feel about it. Um, but yeah, so I just it is hard when it's down to the contestant and people are pushing like you've got two black contestants and people are like oh my gosh yeah like you said they look amazing together
Mm.
and they do like they're not
Yeah,
wrong
yeah,
they
sure,
do.
yeah.
But it's like why can they not look amazing with one of the white contestants. And
Exactly.
I think that is a bigger thing at the end of the day where it comes down to other people's opinions as well and how we need to change that.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. Okay, well, thank you so much for speaking to me. But before we go, we're going to play a couple games.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to play, firstly, this team or that team. And then I'm going to give you like some famous beefs. And then you're going to pick which side you're on. And we're going to just see where your loyalties lie.
Here we go, I'm scared.
No, don't be scared. Okay, so Team Selena or Team Haley?
Selena.
Team Christina or Team Pink?
Christina.
Team Savannah or Team Francesca?
Oh, you can't do this to me. Do I have to answer?
Yeah, of course.
I'm friends with both of them, right? Just to clear that out. I'm not backing out of the corner here, but I am friends with both of them. But watching the show back, Savannah.
Okay. Team Russia or Team Ukraine?
Oh God, Ukraine. This is getting political. I'm gonna get loads of hate.
No, 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 you're fine. That was that we
Where did that come from?
we just have to like throw a little spanner in the works and just, make sure that we don't have any Putin supporters on here.
Oh, imagine.
Um, okay, so then we've got one more game. This is Cap or Facts, which they played on the show. But what I've done is I've just picked comments from my TikTok videos about the show,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to read the statements to you, and then you just say whether it's a cap or a fact.
Okay, got you.
Okay, so Shane is so scary, his eyes give me weird vibes.
Cap.
Are you sure?
He's so lovely, but like it can get a bit much.
Okay. Nick is always leering.
Fact.
Mitchell saying "fuck" is the biggest ick.
Oh God, no. Fact.
100% fact. Like,
I've been hanging out with him recently as well, and I'm like, can you stop? I started saying like "firkin" for a bit, and I was like, this is so embarrassing. Like, stop.
I'm mortified for you. Like, you need to stop that immediately. Do you believe that he's a virgin? Sorry, a little bit off topic, but
Fact. Yeah.
okay. Okay, that one wasn't part of the game, but yeah. The biggest game player was Georgia, and we didn't even realise it.
100% cap. 100% cap.
And nobody on this show cares about love. They only came on it for fame.
Cap. I think so. Let me comment on that one. I think I get why people think that, because the main reason people think that is because no couples ended up together. But if you put yourself in that situation on a show, I think it's very unlikely that couples make it from it. So.
Do you think couples would have potentially lasted longer if they weren't rematching every single night?
100%. 100%. People would be together, get to know each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that is the end of my games. Thank you so much for playing with me.
I feel like I spilled way too much tea then. I'm going to get a message from Georgia in a minute, like, shut up.
No, I think you were fine. I mean, there have been times when I've been on a live and I'm like, but like, it wasn't too bad. You.
Okay. And the other thing I want to say, because I heard a few people being like, this isn't your drama to talk about. It's not my drama to talk about with Georgia, but at the end of the day, she's my best friend and I'm allowed to say my opinion and have her back. And I'm not telling a story. I'm saying most of the receipts are out there anyway. So.
Yeah, and also I asked you. It's not like you were volunteering to tell her side of things, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Are you seeing anyone now?
Not at the moment, no, but I'll let you know.
Okay, you'll let us know if things heat up with Zay.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a call from him now as well. Like, what are you spilling?
Yeah. Oh no, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on to chat with me. I had so much fun.
Same, and have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Bye, babe. Bye.